going on YouTube? What's cracking? What's cracking? So, man, I did a video maybe a couple days ago or whatever, talking about I think Shakur Stevenson will still beat Tank. And I've been getting a lot of pushback in the comments, man, and people, saying how I think that's gonna happen and all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about it. I'm here in New Orleans right now. As I told y'all, if y'all seen my last couple videos, that I was gonna start doing videos in all these cities that I go to, because I'm in a different city every day. I drive cross country. So I think that video, I was in Brooklyn, New York. I'm all the way down here in New Orleans, Louisiana right now. So I'm in the NOLA, but anyways, man, yeah, so how I think Shakur beats Tank, man. This is how I think he beats him. Now, most people that think Tank gonna win the fight, they think that Tank is pretty much gonna walk Shakur down and just beat on him. Walk him down and just beat him up. Pretty much kind of like how he did Frank Martin. Or if you don't think he's gonna walk him down and beat him up, you think that he's gonna win on the scorecards, Tank winning on the scorecards, because he's gonna make Shakur not want to throw punches. So I disagree with both of those, man. I think the way that Shakur beats Tank, and I could be wrong, but just the way that I see it, I think people are really sleep on Shakur's feint game, his hand feints, his foot feints, and his positioning on offense. When he's positioning for whether he want to go on an attack or he want to play defense, when he's sitting there in that mid-range, his foot feints and his hand feints are brilliant, and they can keep you guessing when you try to play the boxing game, because a lot of people look at Tank's power and they forget that Tank is a boxer puncher. So if you good at the positioning game with your footwork, with your feints and all that, 9 times out of 10, Tank is not going to just walk you down, because he understands that if he puts himself in a compromised position, he's fighting with somebody that can hit him. Now, I think that what's going to be key in Shakur beating Tank is Shakur has to be very sharp with his punches. His timing has to be on point, and his feints has to be on point. I think that that's how he's going to beat him. He's going to feint him, he's going to beat him with timing, and he's going to beat him with his accuracy with his punches. So he's going to have to let go against Tank to keep Tank resetting and keep Tank in that mid-range, figuring out how to close the gap on Shakur. Now, I do think that there will be moments, because Tank does have great footwork. Tank is a very explosive fighter, so I think that there's going to be moments that Tank is going to come in and he's going to break that gap, and he's going to cross over into that cross the pretty much the that distance. He's going to close the gap on Shakur. Where I think Shakur is still going to be able to excel and do well against that is the fact that Shakur has great reflexes, and his reflexes are great and his defense is great. So if he's not in position, his reflexes will allow him to still be able to slip something that he might not be in position to, like completely square on defense. He got cat-like reflexes. And then not only that, his defensive fundamentals are already perfect, because that's how he came up as a fighter. That's how he was bred to fight, from a defensive standpoint. So whenever Tank does cross over and close the gap on Shakur, Shakur has so many lines of defense to keep Tank, either make him reset or to either close the gap, to smother Tank's punches, to slip Tank's punches, and then wrap him up, and then so on and so forth. So I feel like it's gonna be a real hard task for Tank to really. I feel like that fight is gonna have to be won in the center of the ring, and I think every time Tank Davis tries to close the gap on Shakur, Shakur is gonna either meet him and hit him with something sharp, with great timing, and I think Shakur's foot feints and his hand feints, his lead hand feints, will keep Tank already, you know, guessing on how he's gonna get in anyway. If you watch the Hector Garcia fight against Tank Davis, Hector Garcia is a decorated amateur. I'm not sure exactly all the things that he won in the amateurs, but I know he had a lot of amateur experience. So he understands the boxing game. He understands positioning and all that. Tank Davis never walked him down, not one time. It was a few moments in the fight where he was coming forward and Hector was backing up. But Hector Garcia was great with his feints. Every time Tank crossed that line, Hector would meet him with something. And Hector's not a hard puncher. That was his first fight at 135. But it was the fact that he understood the boxing game, and it made Tank have to think. It made Tank have to figure out how to come in on this dude, because he's feinting Tank like he's about to come in. Then when Tank feinting like he about to come in, Hector is posing with his hand feints, making him feel like he about to throw some punches, keeping Tank off balance. So with them feints and them foot feints and them positioning battle, it's gonna make Tank think. And what people don't really realize is, like I said, Tank is a boxer puncher. So if you understand the boxing game, he understands the boxing game. So he's not gonna put himself out of position to expose himself, because he's just not gonna be comfortable doing that. Especially if you coming back with sharp counters. Whether you punch hard or not, it doesn't matter. It matters about how good your timing is and how sharp your punches are, because he's gonna know, like, damn, I got hit with something clean. That's what it's gonna be about. It's about the mental. Damn, I got hit with something clean, sharp. You know what I mean? That's why Floyd, nobody was ever able to just walk Floyd down, because Floyd he's sharp, his timing is right, and all that. So if you getting hit with clean shots, it don't matter how hard the motherfuckers is. If you getting hit with clean shots left and right, you not finna just expose yourself to that fighter. To whoever you fighting. Now, if you somebody like Sean Porter, I will agree. If you fighting somebody like a Sean Porter or like a Gary Russell, the one that fight at 140, the guys that just come forward, they like bulldozers. So they don't really play the positioning game. So they're not gonna care whether their footwork is right. They're not boxers. They just wanna come in and pretty much just smother you. So it's not gonna be about the positioning with them. They're gonna just come forward. Regardless of the positioning, they not finna play that boxing game with you. Whether your feints is good and all that or not, Tank is not that type of guy. Tank is not just finna walk in if he's not in position or put himself out of position to walk somebody down. You know what I mean? But that's just how I see it, man. I see Shakur winning a boring fight against Tank. I feel like Shakur is gonna keep Tank honest. He's gonna keep Tank thinking. He's gonna keep Tank hesitating, and he's gonna keep resetting Tank. And when Tank does find moments where he breaks that, you know, crosses that distance, he closed the gap, Shakur has cat-like reflexes, and he got great fundamentals with his defense to make up for that. So Tank gotta pass 3 different things that Shakur has working for him to beat him. You know, to really land that kill shot. I do feel like Tank is gonna be able to land scoring punches, but Tank is gonna quickly realize that he's not gonna be able to land those loaded up punches, those explosive punches that we used to Tank landing on Shakur, because of how good his reflexes is, how good his defense is. He's gonna quickly realize, I gotta just start letting my hands go. And those punches are not gonna be punches that's gonna knock Shakur out. Those are just gonna be scoring power shots. So that's just how I see it, man. But like I said, man, I'm here in Louisiana right now. I just did a video yesterday. I was in about the boots in Crawford. I was actually in Philly. I went to the fight. I did a vlog about the fight, and then I did another vlog riding through the city like I'm doing right now. And then I did another video where I was in Brooklyn. So I'm gonna start doing these type of videos, because like I said, I drive cross country. I'm in a different city every day. So just in case you never get to travel to these cities and see what they look like, I'm gonna just start giving y'all some visuals, you know what I mean? Showing y'all what these places look like, man. Right now we in New Orleans, Louisiana. So like I said, man, that's just my thoughts on it. That's how I see the fight happening. You know, I could be wrong. Tank is a great fighter. Tank very much might just walk Shakur down and, you know, load up on his body and beat him down. I don't see that though. I don't see somebody beating Shakur, just being able to just land on Shakur at will all the time, because he don't even get down like that. He don't even like taking punches. So he's gonna grab Tank all night before he just let Tank sit there and punch on him. You know what I'm saying? He'll probably fuck around and get disqualified from the fight because he grabbed for too much excessive holding, because he not finna just let you punch on him. So if he can't keep Tank off of him, he's not knocking Shakur out. You can forget about that. Shakur's gonna do whatever he got to do not to get knocked out. Now, like I said, he might hold that motherfucker all night just not to pause, just not to get knocked out, but that's just not gonna happen. So if everything Shakur is doing is not working, then I see you know, it being a boring fight and Shakur just pretty much trying to get out the ring, you know what I mean, if Tank was to win the fight. But I feel like what I just explained is how Shakur gets it done, man. But anyways, like I said, that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap in with me, man. I'm back doing my boxing videos. Like I said, I'm gonna give y'all some visuals as I'm going through these cities. We right here in New Orleans. So I don't know, man. I'm trying to get to Texas next, but we'll see, man. I'll see y'all in a minute. I'm gone.